What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with Nick Walker and Martin-Fitzwater, as both these guys celebrated their amazing performances after this year's New York Pro, which just happened today. And although Martin did lose the show, but he pushed Nick Walker so hard, I mean the scorecards do not lie, and the judges saw it as a very close fight, contrary to what Nick Walker believed before the show. So this is an indirect response towards Nick Walker from Martin-Fitzwater, and I'm gonna say direct enough, as he reposted the scorecards on his Instagram story, pointing out that Nick Walker had just a 2-point victory over him. There was only a 1-point difference at both the prejudging and the finals between these two guys.
I had an awesome time tonight. Very excited and happy with the package we brought. And just wait, I'm going to improve for the Olympia, I promise.
And Martin has all the right to say that. He has all the right to celebrate it. Because it was the mutant himself who said that he's gonna make it look like it wasn't even close between him and everybody else, and he's gonna demolish that lineup, which wasn't the case. But on the other hand, Nick Walker does have a point here. That a victory is a victory, and he said nobody cares whether it was by 1 point or more. And at the end of the day, he is gonna be remembered as the New York Pro 224 champion. But I have to say I kinda disagree. People do care, because this is what everybody's talking about after this year's New York Pro. And this show has turned Martin into one of the biggest stars in the men's open bodybuilding at the moment. So it is cool to see Martin-Fitzwater putting this picture of him and his former coach, Brett Warren, specifically after this amazing performance at the New York Pro, and in a moment like this, when everyone is talking about him. So hats off to Martin. Next up is Mr. Olympia for both these guys. So next up we have some physique updates. The first one is from Andrew Jack, who has started this prep for the upcoming Texas Pro. So this has only been announced by his coach and his trainer, because when Andrew was asked at the Pittsburgh what's next for him, he declined to answer that question, and his stance was that his team and the people that he is currently working with are currently working out a plan for him. So when Andrew Jack came onto the stage at this year's Pittsburgh Pro, he looked extremely impressive. He looked so massive. And yes, I know he wasn't as conditioned as some of the other guys, but damn, he was the biggest and the widest guy on that stage. We all know what Andrew Jack is capable of, especially if he comes back to the stage with improvements in his hamstrings and his back. If we can fix those issues, he's gonna be a Mr. Olympia title contender this year, because from the front, he is already Mr. Olympia. Andrew is one of those guys who has some of the best aesthetics, if not the best aesthetics in the men's open right now, or even the best we have ever seen in the history of bodybuilding for that matter. And the fact that he is so tall, plus he carries so much mass, that gives him a great advantage over all the other guys. And I have to say, both these guys, Samson Dauda and Andrew Jack, they are genetic phenomena. People like them do not come very often, because it's not easy to fill out your frame when you are that tall. So I believe Andrew was in the best condition of his life at Texas Pro last year. So this was his first real off season since he turned pro back in 2022. And all of us fans are expecting that he would show up with a lot more improvements this time around, because this was the first time he took such a long off season. Previously, he was constantly competing. So I do have to say, it is really surprising how some of these big names, they are passing up that big paycheck at Dubai Pro this year. Because $100,000, that is a lot of money. And when the show was first announced, both Brandon Carey and Andrew Jack were the hottest names, who were rumored to be in that list of the competitors. And now it seems like both these guys aren't going to be competing here in Dubai. Which, by the way, isn't that good for the promoters, because they put up a lot of money on the line, and that too for the very first time. So they must be hoping that some big names are gonna show up here. So most of the physique updates that we have been getting from Behrouz Tabani, they are mostly him on an empty stomach. His pictures are taken first thing in the morning. So this latest update, that is absolutely mind-blowing. Tell me who other than Hadi Choopan has that kind of striations all over his chest, the way Behrouz has right now. And this is him at roughly 4 weeks out of the show, which is gonna be the Ampro Classic Spain, and this is gonna be his first time competing at that show. So Behrooz also has that winning mindset, and he gives his 100% in any show that he enters, and Spain is gonna be no different. So Michal Krizo is the winning champion at Ampro Classic Spain. But the thing is, this year this show is gonna be a lot more tougher, especially in comparison to last year. Because last year he was battling with Andre Presti at that show, but this time we have a former Arnold Classic champion, William Bonac, plus the Iranian phenomena Behrouz Tabani. So this is gonna be another very close show, and that I have to say is gonna be so good for bodybuilding. So Krizo is gonna have to bring his all-time best in terms of everything. The best combination of size plus conditioning, which is something he's very good at, by the way. We all saw last year in Prague that he was conditioned enough, plus he also had his wow factor. So other than 2021, Behrouz has been able to qualify for the Olympia every year by winning one show. So will this be the year when he is finally gonna get the visa to US? And when we are finally gonna get to see him compete against the best of the best at the biggest bodybuilding stage in the world. So he is doing 3 shows this year, and in a matter of just a month. And the way he is looking right now, he is definitely gonna win at least one. So will Behrouz be able to beat Michal Krizo? Do let me know in the comments below. Next up is the update of a veteran, a guy with one of the most successful career in the men's open bodybuilding in recent times, William Bonac, a multiple times Arnold Classic champion who is now 4 weeks out from making his comeback and stepping back on a bodybuilding stage after almost 15 months, because his last show was also the Arnold 2023, which was definitely not one of his fondest memories because he placed outside of the top 6 at that show, something we could not even have imagined, because just 1 year ago, he was placed a very controversial second against Brandon Kerry, because at that time, so many people actually had him winning against Brandon Kerry. So did Bonac's physique got so worse in a matter of just 1 year that he dropped so much in the placings? Or did the caliber of competition just really improve in the last couple of years? I believe both these variables played a role in Williams' downfall, but the young guys getting better and better and more mature. That was more of a factor here. So Bonac has been putting out a lot of updates, especially in the last few weeks. But you guys all know how these things work on Instagram. It really doesn't matter how you look on IG. It matters how you look standing next to the competition. So we will know where William Bonac stands against the current guys when he finally steps on the stage in 4 weeks from now. And even though he's gonna have to beat Michal Krizo, who hasn't won any major title just yet, but Krizo is a force to be reckoned with, plus Behrouz Tabani as well. So this time Michal hasn't been posting any real physique updates, any real progress updates, just the same most muscular in his mirror, but he has a very good track of bringing very good condition every time he steps on stage. So Krizo is really gonna jump into that next level when he improves his back. I mean, there was a reason he was top 7 in the world last year, and if he can improve his back, he can be a lot more dangerous. So the question now is, can Bonac beat Michal Krizo? Well, of course he can, if he can bring something similar to the Arnold or the Boston 2022 package. But can we expect him to show up the way he did at the Arnold 2019? Well, that is not happening. The chances of that happening are almost zero. He's now 42 years old, and age definitely plays a huge role. Iain Williams also put out a new update, as he is now just over 3 weeks out of his next show, Toronto Pro. So he is getting close to where he wants to be condition-wise. So after Iain delivered that mind-blowing performance at the Arnold, Ohio, where he moved from 7th during a prejudging to 4th at the finals, and then placing 3rd at the Arnold UK, no one is gonna sleep on him. So Iain Williams is definitely gonna be the favorite going into Toronto Pro this year. I mean, the guy has everything. The mass, the flow, the freak factor. Plus, now that he is working with Chris Aceto, his conditioning has been a lot better this time, which by the way was the missing link from his physique for all these years. So at this point, Iain just needs to improve one pose, and that is the back double biceps. Now, I'm not even sure whether that's possible, because that is something that's genetics, and you just cannot change your genetics no matter how hard you work. But if somehow he's able to do that, he's gonna have no weak shorts. His side shorts are some of the best in the business. He is really wide up top, he has a small waist. Plus he's also a tall guy. And even though he has put on a lot of mass on his frame since turning pro, but his waistline has stayed exactly the same. And that is one of the biggest reasons he has such good V-taper. So Ramon Dino took full advantage of being in New York, and he got to pose for the head judge, Steve Weinberger. So sometimes an unexpected loss is all that's needed to motivate the hell out of someone. And Ramon did suffer from an unexpected loss at this year's Arnold, Ohio. I mean, not in my wildest dreams would I have predicted that Ramon is gonna get beat by Wesley Wiesers, because Wesley was placed 7th at the Olympia last year. But he just shocked everyone, and this is part of history now. And Ramon, who normally has this habit of taking several weeks off, not just from dieting, from training as well, he went back to training right away, and that is now showing in his physique. He is looking absolutely huge right now. He wasn't as lean as Urs Leshinsky at the Pittsburgh Pro. But here is the thing, he still has all the muscles to stand out in classic physique lineup, and that is why he has been placing 2nd at the Olympia level for the last 2 years. So the biggest hurdle that Ramon has in pursuit of getting better is that weight cap. Can you just imagine how both these guys, Ramon and Urs, would have made weight if the Pro League did not change their rules? Even now with 5 additional pounds added to the weight cutoff, they are having such difficulty to making a weight cutoff. So Ramon seems to be on a mission this time, and I have to say, do not be surprised if he surpasses his 2023 look at this upcoming Mr. Olympia. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.